there's so many different issues that are going on, so many different things that are happening, and we couldn't not have you back on to talk about that. So this is an open mic segment, something on your mind segment, James. So tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah, there's a lot on my mind in terms of everything we've seen for the past several years, but to be more expeditious, just what we're seeing right now in terms of the transition of power between the Trump administration and the Biden administrations, and everything that's happening around it. A young senator rose up from Missouri, the one who defeated Claire McCaskill in the 2018 election, has claims he's going to oppose the certification on January 6th, which, even though it is very unlikely to do anything other than be disruptive, because even Mitch McConnell said a few days ago that don't even try it because that dog will arrive, a shot dog. They're doing it anyway. And the idea that the behavior we've been seeing as a country of people trying to, through law cases that have been resoundingly rejected by the courts, including Trump judges, about 40 Trump judges have rejected these cases. We've seen members of Congress reject, like Gobert threaten his promising violence is coming, regardless of what happened on January 6th. It seems to me that the fact that these individuals, including the man in the terrorist, the suicide bomber, the white suicide bomber in Nashville, Tennessee, that the media continues to try to present as a complex figure that they can't figure out, who had no record and just seemed to be some guy who just one day decided to blow up this downtown of his city. It seems to me that when you look at these, the way in which the white woman in New York who attacked the young African-American boy and his father, the musician father, in the hotel lobby because she lost her phone over 2 weeks ago. Think about that. All of us have phones. Now, if we lose our phone, how do you come back to a spot 2 weeks later and see someone with a very common phone and then accuse them? And all of her life was leading up to that moment. Everything her mother and father and grandparents taught her came to that moment of confrontation with this innocent young boy who was minding his business with his father, experiencing a great moment together that she turned into hell permanently. And then she gets to be anonymous. All of the media in America is protecting her identity up to this point. It's been about 5 days or more. New York City NYPD is now opening up a case on her, and we still don't know her name publicly. The media around the country, liberals, progressives, radicals, revolutionaries, and mainstream, to me, are white media. I think it's a mystification or something that was manufactured by Roger Ailes and Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, because before that, CNN had tried this whole idea of two sides and with Pat Buchanan and a liberal, right? And then Fox comes along and says, no, there's white America that's been, left out. And so then our whole politics have become sort of toxic around the way in which, we are being told we're polarized, that there's this great divide in our society. There are many divisions in the society. But when it comes to media, the reason why Donald Trump was so effective in caricaturing it as fake news is because most of us already hated it for its dishonesty and for its choices. And the idea that all of the national media are protecting this woman that terrorized this boy and presenting this white man who blew up a downtown city in America as an individual rather than a suicide bomber if he was an Arab, like they would, just shows you there's no such thing as liberal media in America. There's white media. There's racist media, and then there's white media. There's racist media, and then there's white media. And I've been working in media in San Francisco and around the country for a decade. I'm on Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, Chronicle, San Jose Mercury News, the Contra Costa Times, KPOO, which is the black radio station here. I'm even in Santa Rosa on a regular, on KSRO on the drive, right? So I'm in media as much as I am in political science. And I'm telling you, as a black man who has been in studio, you can find me hundreds of times in studio with the main anchor men and women of the Bay Area from all these news outlets. I've been working with them for years. Channel 2 called me last night to do a report, a commentary on the $2,000 issue. So I have a deep connection and familiarity with the media. And there's white, and then there's racist media. I think the idea that there's left and right media is a joke and a marketing package of Fox News when it came in October, I think of 1995. So that factor, the Fox factor in political discourse, is one of the things that has changed the nature of our understanding of race. If anyone watched the Netflix treatment of Roger Ailes and his whole sort of white paradise lost anger and resentment in the country that drove his whole interest in Fox after he was mentored by Lee Atwater, who ran racist campaigns and then died of cancer, apologizing to Black America for the Willie Horton racist campaigns. That's the genealogy of Fox News, is coming all the way down, to Roger Ailes. And that feeds into the racism that is now normalized in American politics. If you study 19th century, early 20th century Black massacres, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Rosewood, Florida, or Forsyth County, Georgia, you'll see it was always white media. It was always the news. It was always some white man lying about a rape, lying about a crime, lying about a homicide that did not happen or had a different angle to it, that always stirred up the white masses into violence. So the lynch mobs,